Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. In today's exciting episode, I guess it's a sewing vlog or a beading video. It's kind of, I don't make the jacket, but I do finally finish it.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So I have been spending my sewing time finishing the layer cake dresses, because if you're in the mood to do a layer cake dress, you just gotta, if you're in the zone, you gotta do it. So I did make a layer cake dress out of these lovely fabrics here. The butterfly one, spoiler alert, ends up, I use half of it for the bodice and the other half in the skirt. And I finished that video, but I just did a layer cake dress like two episodes ago. So I feel like it's a little bit soon to post that episode. And then I was like, but I don't really have time to do anything else. So here's a sneak peek of the skirt part. I was going to show you the bodice, but I was super efficient and I've already deleted that footage. Because after I upload the big video, then I just sort of get rid of everything else. But I kept this bit because it's absolutely adorable. So what I'm going to do, I have had this jacket for absolutely ever. And I bought the fabric, this tweed. It's a Linton tweed, but it's a really old one. And I bought it from this store that they'd had it for like years. So it's a vintage Linton, and I bought it must have been 2011, I think. So I've had it for ages, and before that it had been in the store for ages as well. And it's just adorable. It reminds me of like the 1980s. I wasn't really old enough to be fashion conscious then. But yeah, so I've never been able to decide what beads to put in it. So there are those glass faceted ones. And these ones here are plastic, and they're sort of in berry colours like red and blackberry. And there's this mauvey one as well. Or I also have these amazing sort of gem-like beads. I could put them on it. They don't really match, but they would be spectacular. So I was thinking I could bead it, but I mean, I don't really have time. So yeah, I have this other tweed. This is a tweed, but it looks like a tartan, but it's actually a tweed. Occasionally, Linton tweeds in the UK do ones like this, and I bought it because one side of my family is Scottish, the other side is English. So, and I used to have kilts as a kid, but I don't have any now, and I don't even have anything tartan. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, might as well buy it. And I bought some kilt pins to decorate it with once I'd actually made it. And it was a wholesale store, and so you could either buy like tiny little packets, a couple of those, lots of those, or this big bag of. And so I got this big bag. So I've got loads of them. And it's occurred to me when I was going through my beads that I can probably make 2 jackets worth. So I was like, okay, I'll save half for the tartan one, and I'll use half of them on this 1980s looking Linton tweed. So this is my red keys jacket. And you know how it's got the red keys around the collar, the cuffs, and the hem. Well, I thought maybe I'll try and do that with the kilt pins. Oh, and this is me saying I've also decided that I'm going to unpick the map on the back, because I couldn't figure out why people were being so abusive towards this jacket, because I've got another jacket that also has a map on the back, and it's much more like that whole jacket it's based on something specific, and I'm anti-war, but I'm anti-war in a very ethical, anti-imperialist way, and some are anti-war in a different type of way. So I could see why people, like, I was prepared for people to be object to this particular jacket, but they haven't been. They've been really supportive of that one. And this one is the one that gets all the abuse. And I finally figured out people think it's white and blue. It's actually teal and pale blue and coral and red. But yeah, I guess they can't see colours. But so I'm going to unpick the map on the back of that one and just put a flag on the back, and the red triangle is going to be on the top, and then the rest of the flag is going to sort of fall down from that. Anyway, back to this vintage 1980s jacket. I first decided that I was going to do the kilt pins around the collar, the cuffs and the hem as kind of like a border, and that would add weight so that I wouldn't have to bead it. But I did it, and it just ignore the white bit of elastic that was, instead of measuring everything, I just pinned that in place. And yeah, it didn't look right. They just didn't look very good. I thought it would look cuter, but it doesn't. Anyway, so then I decided to go a little bit punkish, and I put 10 at the bottom of the front, 10 at the bottom of the right front, 10 at the top front right, 10 at the top left right. So 10, 10, 10, 10. So anyway, it's 100 because there's 10 on the front, so that's 40, 10 on the back, that's 80, and 10 on each cuff. So there's 100 kilt pins on there. And it is a lot, but they're not actually that heavy. They're just generic kilt pins. They're not proper ones. And yeah, so I think it looks good, but it's not enough. It's on the way to being cool, but I'm not sure about some of the ones around the shoulders. I think you need not to have weight there because it will sort of annoy me if it's there. But generally speaking, it's good weight. So there's an even amount of weight on the front as the back, the left as the right, and that sort of thing. So it's weighted well, and and it's aesthetically pleasing too. So yeah, I like it, but I need to double down, I think. So then I decided, yes, I like it, but I need to add the same again. And I've got loads of kilt pins, so I can do this. But I just wanted to see whether I like the general idea or not. I do, but I just think you need more. So basically, wherever there's a pin, a couple of them need to be I need to change the angle. So basically, where there was a pin, I just added another one next to it. Some of them are exactly next to it, and other ones I've just made it look a little bit more disordered. So I want it to look a bit punkish, obviously. So yeah, and here it is. It is just so cute. I love it so much. Like, I know it's a big old mess, but I don't know. The weight is beautiful. It's really good. And like, if I'd done beading on this jacket, it would have taken weeks to do, whereas this just took an afternoon. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, I like it. It's punk now. And so my two favorite movies from the 1980s are Desperately Seeking Susan and Jumping Jack Flash, which is it's like a spy movie, but it's Whoopi Goldberg. So she just keeps doing these weird joke riffs every now and again. It's just bizarre, but I like it. Anyway, so then I decided that maybe the kilt pins were too plain, and maybe I should add some safety pins, giant safety pins in there, because I've got some safety pins, because I wasn't sure about the kilt pins. So I was like, well, I've got safety pins as well, so maybe I'll use them instead. But I like the kilt pins them by themselves. I did pin one on. I think I forgot to film it, and it just looked wrong. So yeah, I'm going to leave it like this, because the way it is now, you can see the pins, but you can also see the fabric really, really, like the weave of the fabric and the patterns in it. You can see it really, really clearly. Whereas if I added trinkets and things, I think it would distract from this gorgeous vintage Linton tweed. It's just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I know it's different to my usual thing, but I don't know, there's something about it. It's so scrappy and yet also luxurious, because it's like 200 kilt pins in there. But yeah, it's really cool. It's just so weird. As I said, I think, so I haven't done the silk lining yet. So I'll put that in and then I'll try it on and I'll just wear it for a few hours because I think a couple of bits around the shoulder blades, I think they might be problematic. But you have to wear some things you have to wear for a long time before you can work out what the problems are. If you just try it on, walk around for a little bit, then take it off again, it's not enough. You need the weight to sit on there and you need to move normally. Because when you try something on, you sort of stand as straight as you can and look as perfect as you can. And it doesn't give you a good idea. You have to keep the thing on for like several hours and just do normal work and everything. And then you get a better idea of where the problem areas might be. Because, yeah, sometimes I made this other jacket and it's got quite heavy beading on it. And when I tried it on, it was perfect. It was fine. But then I had to wear it. I got stuck where I was and I had to wear it for like 10 hours straight. And oh my gosh, my shoulders were just like, it was too much beading on the boniest part of you. So yeah, so that's why I'm super careful about these things now. But yeah, I really like it. I'll see how I don't actually wear jewelry, but on the mannequin, when you buy beads, so that they don't chip at each other, the face of each bead, they give them to you on like a thin wire, and I just dress up style the mannequin like it's a necklace. Anyway, so those are beads, and I'm thinking I could just bead around the neckline so that it looks like in the olden days, instead of wearing jewelry and going to a banquet or a ball, what rich people did was sew their jewels, their pearls, into their clothing. And that way, if they got robbed on the way home, they couldn't just rip the necklace off their neck either. You know, they'd have to make them get undressed and take all their garments. Oh, I might, maybe, we'll see. I'll figure out where I have to adjust the pins, the kilt pins first. And then if I decide it needs a little more bling, then I can undo that necklace that the mannequin's wearing and put those clear glass gem style beads, stitch them into the neckline of this as well. That might be good. And because they're clear, it won't obstruct the beautiful tweed either. So maybe. Anyway, so that's it for this one. But I had the reason I had the kilt pins out was because I was going through my beads. And remember, I showed you this one last month, I think. It's a navy, cream and neon coloured tweed, another Linton tweed. That's purely by chance. And anyway, I'm going to take the beaded trim, the green beaded trim off this, and I'm going to just embellish the whole jacket with fluoro beads. So I've got some ones set aside, and I couldn't decide whether I would use all the different fluoro colors. But then as soon as I did that video, I was like, actually, you can, like when you're beading, you have to decide what color thread you're going to use. So I've got this neon red and neon orange thread. So I can't really use neon yellow, neon green or neon blue. I can just use these colours here, will look fine with the orange and red thread. So that's what I'm going to do for that. And I've also got this one here. I've got enough of this. It's another Linton tweed. I'm sensing a theme here. Anyway, I've got enough of this to make 2 jackets, and one is going to be covered with light green beads and the other one is going to be dark green beads. So I finally got a mix of beads. I mixed all different ones together. I do have light green coloured pearls, but I think like I could definitely use them on something else, whereas these ones are all sort of scrappier ones that, you know, it might be good to use them up. So, and I like these together. I wasn't sure. I feel like I've got too many pea green ones in here, so I end up taking some of them out and trying that. But actually, yeah, I like the different mix. So what it will be is just single ones dotted over the whole thing. It won't be bunches of beads the way I've sprinkled them on the tweed. But yeah, I'm just trying to decide whether the color combinations are good. So I need 2 different ones. And this one, I wasn't sure about the aqua and the teal ones in here, so I take them out as well. But I think it's a bit bland and boring without the... I don't really like the aqua, but I think it breaks it up well. And I do like the other different sort of blues, tealy blues in there. So yeah, and I think it looks good. It makes the tweed, yeah, in a moment I'll take some of them out. And it just, when it's in total harmony with the tweed, it kind of looks a little bit boring. Oh, I remember that I had these tile ones that are sort of cream and grassy green as well. So I got them out, and also these small faceted beads here, this string of them, they are left over from the vintage knit jacket that I did that had loads of different green beads on and some tiny little musk seed beads. So I got these out, and then I took out some of the pea green. It's mainly animals. Someone said they didn't like my animal beads, or they thought they were toys, and they didn't understand why I had toys in with my beads. It's my bead collection. I do have some Lego bricks that I stitch on with fishing thread or invisible thread, but I guess technically they are toys, but to me they're beading things. So yeah, so here's the different... I just think it looks a little bit bland if you take out all the pea green. It does match the tweed much better, but I don't think that's not always a good thing. Sometimes you need like a bit of an itch to something that grates so that it catches your eye and it's adds interest. If everything matches perfectly, then it's too harmonious and your eye doesn't even notice anything. And I mean, beading takes a very long time. So you kind of want to be able to notice the beading. And here again, I took out the aqua ones and left some of the teal in there. I took out some of the teal as well. But yeah, again, see, I think it's too much in harmony with the tweed. I love the tweed, love the beads, but I just think it needs that little bit of grit in there to make it more interesting. So then I sprinkled some of the animals back in. I think I was right to take some of them out. I do think there's too much. I mixed too much pea green in there, but I do think you need at least a sprinkle, not a whole, I think I dumped too much in there. I think sort of split the difference, and I think it'll be interesting. Anyway, so that's what I've been up to, and I promise the next video will be a jacket one where I actually make a jacket. But yeah, I kind of need to get the beads sorted out so that I can stop worrying about them and stressing about them. So yeah, I kind of did that first. But yeah, I love this jacket. It's so punk. It's so punk. And I think I probably will add some beads around the neckline though, because I just can't help myself. I want to use up all my bead collection, but also, and then I'm considering about adding these into one of these as well. That might be really beautiful. Into the one with the aqua and teal. We shall see. I have to make the 2 jackets first. Then I can worry about the beading. But I do think, I think they're good base mixes. And once the jackets are made, I'll tweak them then use them. Sometimes I make a bead mix and I end up leaving out like one particular bead from the mix. Last December I did that with the gingerbread one, and also when I started beading the Egyptian tweed one. That was originally going to have teal and navy blue in there as well, but it ended up being just gold on gold. Anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've been inspired to get out all your safety pins and make one of your jackets way more punkish. I think if you had a denim jacket, then I think safety pins would work really well on that. So yeah, I'm kind of tempted to make a denim jacket just so I can use up all those safety pins. Anyway, thanks again for watching and happy sewing!